was not expecting that music choice, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Because trying something new. So.
Yeah, I am all for trying something new. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to I almost said Blood in the Water again. God damn it! Welcome
well,
back.
that one ran a long time. So.
I know it's been a minute, so I don't know why it's on the brain, but probably just because it sounds good. Hello. Welcome back to River City Runs Red. That's the game we're playing. Our Vampire the Masquerade game here on Restless Barbarian Gaming. I'm your storyteller, Aloysius. I'm drinking tea right now. That's where we're at. And I'm here with my lovely players. And so if we'll have everybody reintroduce themselves. It's been a minute since I've done this. I'm sorry. But we'll start with Jen, and we'll go counterclockwise.
Okay. All right. I'm Jen. I'm playing Delilah Cole, who is a Nosferatu. I don't know what else I need in there. I mean,
whatever you want, whatever you want to say.
She reads a lot of books. She visits libraries, even if they're kind of broken down libraries, and is just curious about everything, really.
Hey, I'm Tom. I am playing Ephraim. He is easily the best DJ in the state of Michigan, if not the entire Midwest, and he is looking to expand his, I would say, his horizons in the kindred society.
Okay.
That's you next.
Oh, sorry. I thought there was a dramatic pause for more.
No, sorry.
Oh, no. No.
I'm so sorry. I'll turn on my camera quickly for the introductions. Hello, I'm Tiara, or T, as I like to go by. I'm playing Yvain Mallory, and she is part of Clan Ministry, my little girl failure, who might just experience some confidence growth going forward. We'll have to see.
Yeah, maybe she will really get a boost to the ego. That'll be a new experience for her, I'm sure.
Right. Never happened before.
But where we'll be picking up, it's a few months after the end of
Season 1.
I've missed this. So nostalgic at this point.
I was just punching the air. It's fine. It's so good. It's so good to be back, everybody.
I started to fill it in because you said the end of, and I went Season 1.
Yes, thank you. You knew the assignment. We're starting in early February, so it's a couple months after the events with Marcus and all that happy good times that was going on towards the end of the season. And the coterie now has been gifted a sort of coterie haven by the prince in the form of the former drug den run by the Thin Bloods that they had just taken down over in Fulton Heights. And Ephraim did not seem super interested in moving in or even like doing part-time there.
He's not living in that crack house. Sorry.
No, he's like, he was pretty clear on being like, that's a little beneath me, I think, or very beneath me.
Beneath.
Whatever. But so they've been making with having done that, they've made a little bit of a name for themselves. I mean, Ephraim, obviously you've made a name for yourself before then, because who doesn't know who you are, but they haven't been together as a coterie too much in the past couple months, because they've all been sort of doing their own things. They haven't had a reason to come together, and we're gonna sort of individually go over what everyone has been up to and what they're up to now, and I think we'll start out with Delilah.
Okay, so Delilah has been right after being given basically here this letter from the prince says you can move in there. She's been going to libraries, checking for books online, things like that, because she's curious about everything, and she's really, really interested into like completely moving in. I assume she would have talked to her sire about that, and he would probably said, "Well, it's from the prince. Off you go."
Yeah, you could tell that he was definitely just because you are pretty new, and also due to your history, he's sort of been keeping you within arm's length. So he was a bit hesitant to sort of just like let you go fully off. So he's sort of like having you be in sort of like a split situation right now, where you still have your haven relatively close to his, but now you also have your own space with the coterie sort of away from him, as sort of like a field test to let you spread your wings a little.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
All right. And from what I recall when we were talking about it between seasons, she had also sort of been just scouring the various like boxes and supplies that had been left behind.
Right. Because I want to know what's in them in case. I mean, it could be dangerous. It could be interesting. It could be, I don't know. A lot of it seems sort of just like most of the boxes left behind. That seems like anything of note, because sort of upstairs was just like the bedrooms where everyone seemed to rest their head during the day. But like most of like the like storage boxes were kept in the basement, sort of like where the alchemical lab was set up. And a lot of it sort of just like seems like random crap. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it seems that way to the untrained eye. But you also do manage to find like several notebooks and sort of just like various old like alchemical journals and that sort of thing, sort of tucked away. And that's really like the things of note that you end up finding in those books.
Interesting. Yeah, she's gonna grab all the journals. I think she has Cece's journal maybe as well from before, So she's gonna do that and read them over and see what she can learn.
Say, all right. First roll of the season. Why not? How about roll me a, let's see, in intelligence academics roll.
Okay. Yeah, I totally forgot to get my dice out, so give me like 2 seconds.
Oh, good.
Use Foundry, John.
Oh, Foundry. Oh, well then I don't have to do that. Okay.
I mean, do what you want, but you do have Foundry up, yes.
Okay.
Academics.
Okay, academics. Where's academics?
Over on the right.
Over on the right. Okay, that's academics. What was the other one?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay. That. And do I add a discipline? I don't. This is
not in this case. No.
Okay, so I just hit confirm.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh. 5 successes. Messy critical.
Oh, a messy critical.
Yes.
All right.
We're ready for that.
No, I was not ready for that.
I wasn't either.
I was not ready for it right out the gate. Hold on.
First roll of the
First roll, we get a messy critical. Hey, it could be worse. It could have been a bestial failure.
It could have been.
This is setting the tone. It's about to get wild.
Setting.
Yep.
1 second. Let me problem solve real quick.
Sorry.
No, you're totally good. I just should have been more prepared for this to happen immediately, and I was not.
Okay.
All right. I think this is appropriate in this case. So, well, first off, before we get into like the negative aspects of this, you dive deep into this, and while you are not an alchemist, you're not a blood sorcerer or anything like that, you are just interested in learning, and you just take time to sort of like scour over these. And when you start like reading the journals, and like especially the notebooks that you ended up finding in there left by Alyssa, you sort of start to piece together like all of the like various things in the boxes that you just sort of like hand waved as like, well, this is like useless garbage, why is this all in these boxes? Is that they are all various alchemical ingredients in order to create thin blood formulae.
Interesting. She'll probably like, she's not going to try any of them, but she might take them just in case, like move them somewhere where she can like go, what is this? You know, that kind of thing.
Okay, we're back. But so to the messy critical aspect, you I'm gonna have your clan compulsion activate.
Okay.
This is your Nosferatu. Your clan compulsion is cryptophilia.
Right.
So consumed by a hunger for private secrets, the Nosferatu seeks to obtain knowledge, no matter big or small, as long as it's not a well-known bit of information. During this, they also refuse to give up their secrets, except in strict trade for something greater than their own. Any action... All right. Any action not actively working towards gaining them a secret, they take a 2 dice penalty. This compulsion does not end till they learn a secret they deem to be useful. Sharing this secret is entirely optional.
Okay. Okay. So, trying to figure out what that all means. Like,
basically, so now you have like this wealth of information about thin blood alchemy.
okay.
But you're so invested in it that that sort of like part of your brain that just wants to keep learning just like triggers to like overdrive, and you're like,
wow, okay.
I need to know more. So you so basically now you just want to like find out like more useful information from someone, and it has to be deemed more useful than what you just learned in your eyes.
Okay. So I have to find someone that's done this before.
Not necessarily. It could be entirely unrelated information. You just want information that you feel like could be useful to you.
Okay. Okay. We'll figure out that as we go, I guess.
Yep, all good.
Yeah.
I would say, but you spend a good like several hours sort of just like scouring over these journals and notebooks, and while you are sort of like gaining like a better and better understanding for what you're reading as you're going through it, it is still a bit of a foreign concept to you, because it's sort of like reading about biology without being a biologist kind of deal.
All right. Okay, I understand. Yeah.
So sort of like an outsider's perspective. You're understanding it as best you possibly can without like being able to put it into practice or anything like that.
Okay.
And so as after all that, you're feeling a little brain fried, and you hear a sort of like loud knocking at the door downstairs.
Okay, so is that where I'm at the moment, or?
Right now, I imagine you. I mean, unless you were like doing this sort of like research, like in that like old alchemy lab. I imagine you. I imagine you would have like taken the books like up to your like new.
Yeah.
room
Okay,
in
that makes more sense. Yeah, we'll do
Okay.
that. So, if someone's knocking on my door, I'm going to go answer and like see if there's anyone in the hallway.
Oh, it's on. It's the no one's outside in the hallway. You hear the knocking, sort of like coming from down the stairs at the like front door of the house.
Okay, so I'll go over there and like open the door.
All right, you open the door and you see a familiar figure that you haven't seen in a few months. You see this sort of like gaunt individual. That's sort of like fully covering their skin with like only like slits in their eyes.
Okay. I remember this person.
Yes, you recognize this Nosferatu that you had gone to for assistance in trying to
Yes.
learn more information about Marcus. Gracing your door. You never actually learned their name, but you did.
No, we didn't, because she didn't want her name given out.
Yes.
So,
She deemed it not relevant to why you were there.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, come in.
Thank you.
Mhm.
It's been a bit.
It has. It has.
How have you been?
Pretty well. We some of us are living here now, and I've been going through boxes of stuff. Some of it I don't know what it is, but that's what I've been doing just recently today. Yeah, how are you?
I am all right.
Okay, that's
I
good.
can't complain. I'm not dead.
That is a good place to be, is not dead, yes.
That's all I can really ask for.
Yes.
Though I don't get out much, so that usually helps, I must
Right.
admit.
Yeah, that's probably helpful. I don't always go outside, so sometimes. Do you want to see the boxes?
If you are willing to show me these boxes.
Yeah, they're downstairs. Follow me. We'll just go in.
All right.
Mhm.
And they sort of like follow you down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is like Nosferatu's like helping each other.
yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's just all this stuff. Some of it is clothing, some of it is stuff I don't understand what it is yet, but I'm working on trying to learn that. Like these little jars, do you know what these are?
They sort of like take a jar from you and start sort of like moving it around, and it's sort of like as they move it, the sort of like liquid inside is sort of like this yellowish color and a little like viscous as it sort of like moves, and they're like, perhaps mucus of a kind. I don't know what that would be for.
I don't know either. This is just what was left here when the prince allowed us to live in here from time to
This
time.
was the
Yeah.
alchemist's residence.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. Yes. So I mean, I don't know anything about alchemy. I just
Yes.
found things. You know.
I hear she's been let into the fold to an extent.
I guess.
On a bit of a probation.
Oh, okay. I got it. All right. Well,
Seems to be that they're testing her to see if she actually works out.
I see. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah. There's like, I don't know, other stuff in here besides those little jars.
Yeah, there's like there's like boxes like full of like
Everywhere.
seemingly there's like boxes like full of like seemingly random crap.
Yeah.
Like you like open them up and you see like just like bits of metal. You see like what appears to be like used condoms and
God.
just like
no.
just like the most random crap that you can possibly imagine, just filling these boxes.
Wow, someone was a hoarder. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure she had her uses for them.
Probably.
However, I'm not here for pleasantries.
Okay. What are you here for?
I'm here to call in that favor.
Okay. And what is your favor?
I would like you to check in on someone, perhaps retrieve something from said individual.
Okay. Who is the individual?
That's not important right now.
Okay.
I just need to know that you will do this.
Right, we agreed before, and I said I would do whatever you wanted.
Good. I appreciate a kindred of their word.
Yes.
For now, I will simply leave this, and they sort of like pull out a scrap of paper and hand it over to you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. What does it say?
You open it up, and it has an address on it, and it's sort of like a note saying, retrieve dark leather-bound tome in glass case located in office.
Okay. I can do that. Yeah.
Good.
I'll bring it back here.
Yes, bring it back here.
Okay.
And then just let me know once you have retrieved the item, and I will come to collect it.
Sounds good. Seems fair. All right. Well, I guess I'll look into that quickly enough so that I figure out where I'm going, and then I'll bring it back to you.
Yes, appreciate it.
All right.
Do not rush in blindly to this.
Okay. Could I bring someone with me?
How you retrieve it is your own prerogative. I merely request that you retrieve it.
Okay. I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll bring it back here, and I'll contact you when I have it.
I appreciate it. If there is nothing else, then I will take my leave.
Okay. It was good to see you again, and I will get on this as soon as I can.
It was good to see you as well. And should you need to get in touch with me via separate channels, say I don't respond, just ask for Keen.
Keen. Okay. I can do that. All right. Things to do.
Yes, indeed. Have a good night, Delilah.
You as well.
And they take their leave and walk out the front door and close it behind them.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, so they don't just leave it open like an asshole.
No, of course not. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, much to do. Much to do.
And with that, we will transition over to Ephraim.
Ready.
All right. Yes. All right, Ephraim. What have you been up to the past few months?
God. Let's see. Well, he's decided that he wants to spend more time at Elysium, getting to know the power players in the city, and he's decided that in exchange he'll be doing less shows at the Diablo Club. So he has nominated his good friend Jose, his servant, to fill in for them for those nights, and actually get paid for it, not just fill in and.
What a wild concept!
Exactly, just because I told him he had to.
Which is certainly blowing his mind.
Yeah.
The fact that he's actually getting paid to perform.
Yeah, he wants to also make sure that Jose is fully bound down. So he's offered this as a prize, basically, to Jose.
All right. Does Jose operate, just out of curiosity, does Jose operate as DJ Blackout, or does he have his own designated name?
He will have his own name, because there's only one DJ Blackout. So
of course.
Not going to tarnish the brand in case he fucks up.
For sure.
Yeah. But he will have his own, nom de plume and everything he needs. So.
All right. Sounds good. So you've been spending a lot of time at Elysium as of late.
Yeah. He hadn't gone there much previously, but now he's starting to go there several nights a week if possible.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Definitely. Not every night at Elysium is that sort of grand affair as when basically like every Camarilla kindred in the city was there. But you do certainly get a fair amount of the more social kindred, the ones who like to be seen, the ones who like to gossip, the ones who like to maybe like schmooze a little, and at least once a week you see like the more influential kindred showing up at Elysium, such as the Primogen, and the Sheriff and the Seneschal.
Is there a Malkavian Primogen?
There is a Malkavian Primogen. His name is Jasper Santana.
Jasper Santana. Okay. All right. I assume Ephraim has met him at least once, I would imagine.
Yes, I would imagine that they would have conversed on at least one occasion, whether it was when Ephraim was like first integrating into the city in secret when the Camarilla was gaining its power, or just on one of these random occasions at Elysium where they were able to properly meet for the first time.
Okay. Yeah. Ephraim's not a suck up in that regard. He will be cordial, not hang around him all the time, but also probably is going to see how the others react to him. Kind of picking up on kind of their body language, maybe things he hears other kindred say about Jasper, just so that he can get an idea, kind of where the Malkavians stand in the city.
Yeah. All right, make me a just to sort of I guess over the course of time, just make me like a general wits awareness check to sort of just like see like what you just like hear on a whim when you're doing some little eavesdropping.
He got 5 successes.
Oh my god. Okay. You guys are off to a roll, literally. But so yeah, you hear plenty of gossip about Jasper. But also just something notable about Jasper is when you like first meet him, he doesn't really scream Malkavian. In a lot of aspects, he reads much more Ventru in a lot of ways. He's like very well put together. He is very like cordial and well spoken, and just has like a sort of like presence throughout the room. Not so much as to like overtake like everybody else's attention or anything like that, but when he walks into the room, people are like, okay, he means business, kind of
Ventru
deal.
or just one bad frenzy away from becoming Malks.
Where's the lie though? But you sort of like hear quite a bit about him. He is sort of just like much more respected compared to basically all the other Malkavians in the city, just because in general Malkavians kind of have a bad rap. They're loyal Camarilla members, but people just tend to look at them strangely or look down on them or not take them very seriously. They have a bit of a reputation, and Jasper doesn't really fit into that general mold, so it's much easier for him to sort of like bend people's ears and sort of like actually like get in on like the more serious things. If people see him, because in some instances people see the primage and title as more just like an honorary status kind of deal. That is not the case with Jasper. People treat him with respect and treat him very seriously.
That's what Ephraim was hoping to find out. So, okay. All right.
You do get a few like more out there rumors because you got 5 successes. You do hear a bit more out there rumors, like every once in a while he'll sort of just like lure someone into his basement and torture them for a few days just for his enjoyment. But who hasn't been there?
Who hasn't? Yeah.
So
None of this scares from away.
Yeah. But yeah, by and large, aside from like a few off things, you basically hear like nothing but respectful and raving reviews about this guy.
Okay. All right. And we had talked about if there were any kindred who had the title of Harpy.
Yes, and there is one Harpy who is a Nosferatu by the name of Pixie, and she's basically if you need to know something that's happening in court, she's the bitch to go to.
Okay.
And she's very much sort of like a Cleopatra. She is basically like a Toreador in a Nosferatu's body. She is all about beauty and fashion and just looking her best despite the Nosferatu curse.
Okay. What's kind of her respect level?
She is, honestly, it depends on who you ask. She, is seen as, like, much of, like, a socialite. She, tries to, keep in touch and know, like, anybody who's anybody. And, in that regard, she, does her job at court very well, but there are some in like the city's Camarilla who just inherently look down on her for being a Nosferatu, and basically seemingly like not accepting that fact. Like she like they see her as like trying to be something that she's not, essentially.
Okay. All right. Is Ephraim made contact with her these past few months? Enough?
I would say I would say that like she is in easy. It's not like one of the like Primogen or like the sheriff or anything like that where they're like hard to like walk up to and talk to her or anything like that. Like she has her duties and all that, but part of her duty is literally just talking to and getting to know people and getting information from them. So it would be very easy for Ephraim to just like walk up to her and like start up a conversation.
Okay. Yeah, probably the next time he's in the Elysium, he's gonna he'll probably sit down and talk to her for a little bit, just to chew the fat, as they say.
Yeah. All right. So you walk into Elysium and you see Pixie sort of just like off in a corner. There aren't too many people here at Elysium tonight, at least right this moment. There's like a few people mingling here and there, but you do see Pixie sort of not like in a back corner or anything, but like sort of just like sitting at a table off to the side, sort of like a wine glass in hand, and she's sort of just swirling it around, and she sees you walk in and gives you sort of like a sly smile and sort of like beckons you over.
A come hither glance?
Yes, like come hither glance.
Then Ephraim will wander over. Saying, "Hey, Miss Pixie, how's it going?"
And she sort of looks over at you, and sort of like her deformity is that it's actually similar to the Nosferatu Primogen deformity, where like part of her face looks pretty normal, but when she turns her side, like part of it is like kind of like a two-face situation.
Okay, that's what
where
yeah.
Where it's like it's sort of like burned and like sunken looking, and just like entirely like off-putting to the general viewer. But she looks over up at you and says, "Ephraim, what a wonderful surprise. I was curious if you were going to show up this week or not."
I try to make an appearance where I can. I'm a busy man, but not too busy to stop in and see my friends.
Is that what we are? Friends?
I like to think so. Haven't we built up a rapport, Pixie? I mean, I'd be hurt if you said we weren't friends.
Because you're cute, I'll allow it.
Oh. Flattery will get you everywhere. May I sit?
You may, and I'm glad we have similar mentalities on that matter.
And he'll sit down. And what are you drinking?
Typo.
A little common for me, but
Are you more of an AB negative man?
I am. I think I kind of like A negative the best.
Hey.
Has to be a good year. But any port in a storm, right?
This is true. Unless
Nope.
you're one of those Ventru, they're so picky.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine, just limiting yourself to one type for their whole existence. I mean, how boring.
And some of them limit themselves so much. I heard a rumor about one kindred in Chicago.
Mhm.
He can only drink from one person.
Jesus.
I know.
And they say we're cursed.
And she just lets out like a hearty chuckle that's maybe a little bit too loud, and it like echoes throughout the room a little bit, and a couple people sort of like look over before going about their conversations again.
He's gonna just like snap his fingers and looking around to see if there's any staff.
Yeah, you snap your fingers, and one of these sort of like masked servants walks up to you and says, "Hello, sir. What can I get you?"
You have a good A negative tonight?
I think we can manage that. Yes, sir.
I think I'd like that. And you have any cigars?
I think we have some of those. Yes, sir.
Make sure they're the good ones. So the Cubans, not that shit they sneak in from Venezuela.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir.
All right.
And they sort of like turn and walk away.
Okay. All right. And turns his attention back to Pixie. Anything going on these past few nights?
Unfortunately, court's been rather dull. I have seen that thin blood that you helped bring in around once or twice.
What have they been up to?
More just standing around, looking like a demure little mouse.
They just seem to, I'm a special unicorn, I'm this, I'm that. You're the bottom. You're practically immortal. You're the bottom of Cain's ladder. Really, we'd be better off without them, if you ask me. But
it appeared she was being babysat by someone from the Tremere Chantry.
Oh, that makes sense. Because I really thought the Tremere would be the best people to keep an eye on that type anyway.
Yes, I'm sure they're having so much fun with her.
As long as it keeps the Tremere out of our homes, right?
Better if they be on our side than against us.
It's true.
You wouldn't like a Tremere when they're angry.
Oh no, I go to all extremes to keep them happy and keep them on my side. And he's just kind of looking around to see if there's anybody of interest. Maybe no one's close enough that he could hear our conversation, right?
If you strained your ears, then maybe, but
he doesn't want to make it too obvious.
Yeah.
So, okay. Seeing it's a slow night at the moment, so
yeah, you do see sort of out and about a little bit here and there. You see the Keeper of Elysium, River Chloris, walking around here and there, sort of just checking in with people here or there, but she seems to sort of be keeping her distance from your table. And before too long, the masked servant walks back to your table and places your glass in front of you and hands you a cigar and says, "Would you like me to light that for you, sir?"
Of course. He waits for him to cut it, and then he'll...
Yeah.
Put it in
And
here.
they cut it. They hold it up to your mouth, and they light it for you.
It takes a couple puffs, and he's like, "Thank you." And he'll reach into his pocket, like a 10, and just like slide it to the guy.
The servant sort of like looks. You see sort of like a slight wide eye and like a little bit of confusion at first before they sort of graciously take it and just like slip it into their pocket. Say, "Thank you, sir. I hope you're pleased."
He'll pick up the glass. He'll sniff it. He's paranoid. Sniffs it.
Smells good.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Take a
Yeah.
sip and just
Takes a sip.
sit back and just be quiet and just kind of puff on his cigar, kind of looking around.
And the servant says, "Let me know if you need anything else, sir."
You'll be the first person
Ma'am.
I call.
And sort of like so it gives a little bow and walks back off. So, what are you up to these nights, Ephraim?
I've taken a little bit of a break from my player can't think of the right word, from my residency over at the Diablo Club. I've cut back a few nights. Want to spread my wings a little bit and see what there is to do in this city besides serve the servants. So,
Interesting. What does your Mala Gremory think about that?
we came to an agreement that I had a suitable substitute. My protege, Jose, is filling in, and I'm allowing him to train his skills, build an audience of his own for when I obviously leave that small club and move on to bigger and better things, that they're not left without, a suitable replacement. Well, I mean, excuse me, he could never fill what I do, but
Of
he'll
course
be good.
not.
Let's put it
course
that
not.
way. So,
Well, that should be interesting to see how that all shakes out.
yes. He's just quiet then, just kind of looking around. So,
Sort of like look around, and at one point you actually do see Rick walk in,
okay.
and he sort of like clocks you, and he doesn't like make a beeline for the table or anything like that, but he sort of like acknowledges you and seems to go to talk to River real quick.
He's just watching. Just, if he chooses to come over and say hello, great, but he's not going to go out of his way and look like a happy puppy trying to get attention. So,
Fair enough. And they seem to talk for a few minutes, and then River seems to walk off, and Rick looks back over in your direction. He sort of just like nods and gives you sort of like a little wave before sort of making his exit.
he just kind of nods. He'll kind of tilt his cigar. So,
So, is that your little shadow?
as a friend I acquired along the way. They're I wouldn't say harmless. They're more useful. Let's put it that way.
You have such interesting friends.
I really do try to make more friends than enemies. I mean, as you know, if someone doesn't like us, fuck them. But
True.
I still feel like it's much easier in our nights to make friends first.
This is also true.
Would I know anything about like kind of what Pixie does besides being a harpy? Do I know anything about her background or?
Yeah, like what she does for it, like outside of court and that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Make me a ooh. Make me a manipulation politics roll to see if she would have disclosed any of that information to you.
Awesome. And I am gonna blood surge on that.
All right.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Yes.
Pixie, in general, just due to the nature of her job at court, she's all about prying out others' secrets and does her best to remain relatively tight-lipped about herself. You do manage, over the course of your conversations that you've had over the past couple months, the most you've managed to get out of her is that she's invested in a winery, but that's about all you've been able to get out of her.
Okay. You
didn't get a name for the winery or anything like that. Just that she's invested in a winery.
Okay. Can I, since I'm drinking some A negative, can I reduce a dot of hunger?
I will allow it.
Alrighty, thank you.
I'll say it's fresh enough that I'll allow that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's not going to pry too much. No one else seems to really want to talk to him. And is Jasper around by any chance?
You've seen Jasper like flit in and out. He doesn't appear to be in the room at the moment, but you have seen him sort of around.
Okay. Is the prince around?
The prince is not around. You have not seen her since arriving.
Okay. All right. He'll probably give it 20 minutes, half an hour. If no one interesting comes in, he will say goodnight to Pixie and just head out.
All right, sounds good. You sort of like wait about, right about when you're getting ready to hit the 20-minute mark. You hear the doors open, and you do see Jasper walk back in.
Okay. He's gonna just kind of keep an eye, see if he looks like he's in a, like, if he's in a hurry, like if he's like busy. Like if he looks like he's busy, Ephraim won't bother him.
Yes, no. He walks into the room extremely casually and sort of just glances about, just sort of clocking who's in the room. And he just then walks over to one of the servants and grabs a glass of something, and then just starts walking the room a little aimlessly, not any real purpose.
Okay. If he in his circuit, if he comes near our table, Ephraim's gonna say, Jasper, how are you?
Ephraim, good to see you.
Good to see you.
The night's treating you well?
Always. Haven't had a bad night in several years.
That is excellent to hear.
Which is absolute bullshit because you get burned to a crisp. But so.
Yeah, but he's not going to disclose that information. And sort of like as you guys start chatting, you do clock that Pixie sort of just silently stands up and begins to walk away.
She's not a fan, I take it. So.
Who's to say? Could mean anything.
Oh yeah, that's Ephraim will note that. So okay, but
What brings you
Malkavians
to a Elysium tonight? Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just saying Malkavians aren't as driven by clan as some of the other clans are.
No,
I mean definitely stick together. I mean,
yeah, I would say that, like they're not as tightly knit as like Nosferatu or Tremere or that sort of thing, but they are like they do tend to be like one of the more like closely knit clans, at least compared to many of the others, just because so many like look down on them essentially. So while they're not like as tight knit as Tremere or Nosferatu, they do like try to stick together as best they can.
He'll answer, just to be seen and to see who's here, just making the rounds. So,
an understandable reason. Never hurts to be social.
Of course, I'm always ready to lend a helping hand.
And what helping hand are you lending?
Well, I have a little more free time on my hands. Is there anything the Primogen might, or excuse me, that my Primogen might need?
Potentially, if you're interested.
Let's talk.
And he sort of like
gesture to a chair if he wants to sit. Or...
He sort of looks around, sort of just like clocking who's in the room, and he then says, "Do you have your pager on you?"
He reaches into his coat pocket and he's like, "Yeah."
And he goes to take it if you'll let him.
Of course.
And he takes it, and then he inputs the information for his pager into it and says, "We'll talk privately at a different time."
Sounds good.
But if there's nothing else, then I will bother you no further.
Always a pleasure.
Likewise. And he then sort of about faces and just walks out of the room.
Okay. And now he notices that like Pixie is Pixie like just gone?
Pixie's just straight up not here now.
Okay. All right. That's fine. He'll finish his cigar, and when he's done, he'll look around, see if anybody else is looking at him. If no one's admiring him or giving him adoration.
Make me a wits awareness check real quick. Zero. All right. You don't see anybody oohing and awing over you, so
their loss.
Yeah, exactly.
He will exit stage left. So.
All right. And he heads out into the night, and with that, we'll transition over to Yvain.
Wow, that's me.
It is. So, Yvain, what have you been up to the past couple months?
Okay, well, First off, Vane has been doing some, we'll call them side jobs. She has been, I guess, taking some side jobs from one Merrick Kroll. Did I pronounce that correctly?
That is correct, yes.
I believe, was it emissary to the Ministry Baron?
Yes. Yep, the emissary to Andre Walker, who is the Baron of Ward 3.
Yes. And as such, she has been getting some feedback that she's maybe not quite as incompetent as she has originally thought. She's kind of up in the air, but she's kind of feeling pretty good these past few months. It's nice to, with the job that they finished, obviously with the Thin Bloods, and that momentum, I think that she's feeling essentially on the up a little bit, tentatively. Mm-hmm. She's a little afraid to, she doesn't want to get too, big for her britches. But she is, yes, finishing these jobs that Merrick gives to her and getting some feedback and kind of just getting a little bit more confidence, actually, in that regard. And she has probably not talked very much recently with her sire. Another new interesting thing. I also imagine that these past 3 months she's kind of she's cut down on the amount of streaming that she's been doing, just because she's kind of consistently being given these other things to take care of. So she's kind of on a limited streaming schedule right now. She is still making masks when they are essentially commissioned from her. And then other than that, I think that she's kind of been coming and going from the coterie house in an attempt to clean it up so it gives less drug den and more normal home.
Very understandable. And, that endeavor has been fairly successful, with the exception of the massive boxes of crap in the basement. The actual, living space of the home has definitely been coming along, that's for sure. It is definitely not giving drug den anymore.
Yeah, very nice. I think that, if Delilah is not stopping her, Vane every now and again takes to, slowly painting the rooms. Just to make it a little bit more homey. And just randomly, grabbing stuff she's, thrift stores and whatever secondhand stores, just look what I found. Some just random esoteric crap.
Yeah.
And she brings it, she's like, well, I just got it because it didn't really cost much, but then we can decide if we want to put it up somewhere, sort of thing.
All right, sounds good. Out of curiosity, what color is she painting?
I'm essentially seeing kind of in the room that she's kind of claiming as her room, she's kind of doing a bit of a lavender with a very pale kind of olive green accent wall. She likes those two colors. They kind of get her in her calm space, essentially. So yeah, the lavender and a olive green accent wall behind where the bed would be. Which I assume she just kind of leaves a bed in there haha, this is a totally normal human house.
Yeah. Yep, exactly, for sure. And we'll say it's sort of in the middle of you sort of like decorating and all that, you get a sort of like buzz on your pager.
Mhm.
And you look at it, and it is from Merrick. And it just says, "Care to meet up?"
I feel I feel like she grabs the pager and sees it's from Merrick, and when it's like, is it like you know, just kind of staring at it, and just like looks around slowly. I'm thinking she's kind of in overalls right now, covered in paint in this room. So she just kind of quickly shoots back a yes. Is 30 minutes. Sure, 30 minutes. Where? Question mark. Just kind of a couple, and those are all sent as like disjointed.
Okay, yeah,
pages.
like disjointed. Yeah, okay.
I'm sure by now this is pretty normal.
Yeah. And he just messages back, the bar, question mark, unless you have another preference.
She'll just say the bar is fine. And as like she is hitting send, she's taking off to like not be covered in paint and wearing some like just looking kind of wild right now. So she's kind of just running around, and she just, if Delilah is there, she will yell from upstairs, "I'm going out for a little bit to the bar. Just so you know, if I don't see you again tonight, have a good one."
Okay.
They're like roomies, kinda.
Well,
So-
you know, gussy yourself up after cleaning yourself from all your painted clothes.
I do want
And-
to say that
Yes.
upstairs where the bedrooms are, I do imagine that Delilah and Yvain have probably chosen rooms. I think that most likely Yvain has still set aside a room for Ifra
Yeah, just in
in
case.
hopes that they can wear him down. It's like painted. Has his name on the door. I just want to throw it out there. Like, it's there if you ever need it.
Yeah, just gotta whittle away at him little by little.
Uh-huh. But yeah, she'll just she'll get ready, and she will throw on some not frumpy clothes. So, and then get going.
All right. So you head on out. It ends up being a little closer to 40 minutes, but you know,
What if she sprints?
no. If she sprints, then sure, she can make it 30.
Like a normal human sprint.
Yeah. I mean, last I checked, she didn't have celerity, so yeah, it would be a normal human sprint.
Or could she get one of those, does Grand Rapids have those like bikes or scooters?
The last time I was there, I saw them, so I think they do, yeah.
Okay, she's gonna totally, she'll get on the bike, because I feel like the scooters look a little more lame.
You are not wrong, but,
So-
but anyway, okay, so you get on one of those, and with that, you know, make it
35.
there. Yeah. With that, you make it there with a little time to spare. But you walk in, and the bar's a little like hustling and bustling tonight. It's not like filled to the brim or anything like that, but you know, there's like definitely a fair amount of people there. But after like looking around a little bit, you see at one of the booths, you see a man who appears to be in his early to mid 40s, shaved head, sort of like salt and pepper beard, and he's currently, it appears that he's just like dressed in like a polo and khakis, and so you see
State Farm.
yeah. I was saying you see Merrick Kroll sitting in one of the booths.
Okay. She will walk up and just kind of slide in across from him. She's like, "Good evening."
Yvain, a pleasure as always.
Same to you. So, what did you want to talk about?
I feel more often than not it's been strictly business the past couple months. I suppose I merely wanted to talk with you.
Oh no. She doesn't say "oh no" out loud, but she's thinking
she just thinks it.
Actually, let me think here. I think the "oh" part comes out under her breath because when she kind of knows what to expect, she can prepare herself. So I do believe that she got off that bike, kind of walked up to the bar, looked and like kind of hyped herself up, like, okay, we can do it, be normal-ish, we're fine, job, whatever. And then it's like, let's just talk and get to know each other. Now she's like, no. So she's a little caught off guard, but will just say, oh, that's fine as well, sure.
I do have a job if you would like one, but that is not the purpose of this little meeting.
No. I'm fine talking. I just am awkward. So yes, what did you wanna? You said just get to know each other. What would you like to know?
Well,
I mean, I have things I would like to know, but
and I'm happy to answer what questions you have, I suppose, depending on what they are. But what exactly is it when you're not doing jobs with me? What do you do?
like, oh, sorry, I almost kicked my cat in the face. I apologize. Like, threw me off guard. I didn't know his head was right there. As in, like, what do I do as a job outside of this, or also just in general to pass the time?
You may answer that question however you see fit.
Well, I take commissions for Kindred. I don't know that we've spoken about this before, but I do create masks for... Well, she doesn't say Kindred. She'll just say, I create things for people to kind of help them settle in society a little easier without any nosy busybodies essentially getting in the way. I think that's probably the safest way to say that in a public space.
Yeah, that's fair.
But other than that, well, right now I'm spending a lot of time at the new coterie house. and painting. Painting a lot and decorating. So that's been fun. That's essentially what's taking up my time, and getting to know the other coterie members right now.
How has all that been going?
Well, one of my coterie members, okay, quick out of character.
Yes.
Is it typical to keep, like, the members of your coterie, like, quiet from other kindred?
Not
Or does it not really matter, right?
not necessarily.
Okay.
I would say in this instance, it's not like a huge secret or anything like
Right.
that, because you guys like
Perfect.
just did this like
And
you guys just did this like relatively big takedown job, or a takedown job that seemingly started small that ended up spiraling into something bigger. So
right.
you guys are
Okay.
kind of like on the map a little bit now. So
Okay. Then she'll just kind of jump right into it. She'll say, Delilah's been very nice to get to know, and Ephraim is also very interesting. I enjoy talking to him. However, he seems very adamant that he will have nothing to do with the coterie house and help me decorate. Which is a shame, because I painted his room for him.
what color did you paint it?
What color does Ephraim typically wear? Like, is there a color that Ephraim typically
I'd say
like?
black
wear?
or red.
Red. Okay. Well, she's not gonna paint the room black. That's a little too edgy. But
Just constantly
I
walking in the
imagine
walls.
right. So I
Red
imagine
rum, red
it
rum.
kind of like a three walls, kind of like a cream, like a deep cream, and then one accent wall that's kind of like a deep, like kind of burgundy red. Just so it's not too overpowering, but you know. Yeah, because I'm so subtle.
You certainly seem to have an artist's eye. And as for him not settling, unfortunately, you can't just make someone be social.
Well, he's definitely social in the ways that he wants to be social in. I think
suppose that
he's
is fair
content to play nice with us and has no problem with us. I just think that he has specific things that he would prefer to put his attention to unless it's business. It's fair. Many people are like that.
This is true.
He's a snob. Oh, well, you know, I didn't say it. No.
I suppose, despite being an emissary, I'm not always the most social, outgoing person either.
How did you end up becoming an emissary, especially for a ministry aligned baron?
Well, when... And you see him sort of like mulling over like exactly like how he wants to phrase this. I suppose when you're a dragon like me, most people aren't even willing to give you a chance. So I think he just saw a potential asset. And he was the only one really willing to give me an in, I suppose.
can
if that makes
understand
sense.
that. I can understand that. I mean, you seem to be a very capable person. So,
Thank you. I like to think so. But
so obviously the Baron has a good eye. Riz. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. He sort of smirks when you say that. So, you said you had questions. I don't want to be the one bombarding you with questions.
I do. I know we've been working together sort of on and off these past few months. And I guess I'm just curious because you also introduced yourself to me at Elysium, but before we really knew much about each other, at least I'm assuming, I'm under no false thoughts about essentially being a little bit of a nobody. Not many people know my name, and that's fine. But I guess I'm just wondering why? Like, why me?
It's true, when I first introduced myself, that I did not know much about you. I knew who your sire was, but you, I admittedly did not know much about. And apologies if this sounds a bit strange, but you just caught my eye that night, and I was curious to know a bit about you. And after you and your coterie took down that thin blood, I saw someone who not just intrigued me, but was also capable.
She nods. What would be like a roll to? Is there insight? It's been so long.
There is insight.
Okay, she just kind of wants to. I think, like, right off the bat, initially, she just kind of wants to take that for face value, but also she's been around in people life, so she just kind of wants.
That is true.
See if he believes what he's saying.
Okay. Then make me a wits insight roll.
Wits insight. Okay, let's see. Insight's 3. Okay, so that's gonna be.
And you may blood surge if you wish.
I absolutely know that you taught me what that means, and I don't remember.
If you
It adds a +1. It adds 1 die, correct?
it adds 2 dice.
It adds two.
At
Okay.
the cost of a rouse check.
Okay. Sure, I'll do that. So I just do the rouse check first then.
Yep, do the rouse check first, and then add 2 dice to your roll.
Okay, well, I failed the rouse check, so do I just get
Okay.
hungrier?
Yep, you just get a little hungrier.
Okay. And then, so that adds 2 dice, so that will give me 7. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I got 4 successes.
All right. As far as you can tell, he seems to be like what he's saying seems to be completely genuine.
Alright. Trying to give other people an in is how she will respond then to that.
Maybe. I think that's part of it. Maybe I just saw a kindred spirit.
I'm trying. What would be appropriate for Yvain to know, just generally, about, is it Zemisi? Oh my gosh.
Zemisi.
Zemisi?
In general, I'd say she probably wouldn't. Well, actually, no. She's been around a hot minute, so she would probably. She probably wouldn't know like intricate details or anything like that, but she would know, historically, founding members of the Sabbat, commonly known as like flesh crafters, who are able to like change theirs and others' forms, to both like normal and monstrous degrees. And yes, fiends. And yeah, don't exactly have the shiniest reputations, but in very recent years, like even like post like Lasombra leaving the Sabbat, the Zemisi have also been leaving the Sabbat to varying degrees, although they haven't like committed to a particular sect like the Lasombra did with the Camarilla. The Zemisi who are leaving the Sabbat more often than not end up being anarchs or anarch aligned.
Okay. So then I think that Yvain will watch him for a second and say, if this is too personal, of course, feel free to deflect or not answer, but do you find it difficult to be aligned as you are? A kind of against the grain of others like yourself?
And he sort of mulls the question over a little bit. I know we're all monsters, but I was not quite as monstrous as many others in my clan. That being said, I'm still adjusting to acting as human as I need to, if that makes sense.
I think so. Thanks for answering. Well, I've just asked a lot of questions. Do you have any more for me? Hey! No. Sorry, I guess one of the cats did something.
Me all of earlier today, it's fine. What brought you to this city? And I suppose a follow-up question to that. Historically, well, I suppose not very historically, but Ministry tend to be more anarch-aligned, and yet you and your sire went with the Camarilla. I suppose I'm just curious about the reasoning behind that.
I wish I could give a profound answer to that, but it's really quite simple. For whatever reason, my sire wished to align with them, and I followed suit because that was the choice. Not that I couldn't have. I don't mean to make it sound like I was forced to join. I wasn't. But I suppose that just prior to coming here, my sire is essentially the person that I probably know best. And being a part of a coterie and having to get more ingrained in the, I guess, different power plays, machinations, whatever that's going on in this city has kind of forced me to expand that social circle.
All right.
So it was come here or be left there.
Fend for yourself, essentially.
As she smiles and kind of looks down at the table, says, yes. I'm under no illusions. I've always been more of a follower than the type to strike out on my own. That doesn't ever truly seem to go too well. As she shrugs.
Well, for what it's worth, if you had not followed him here, we wouldn't have met.
That's true. That's a nice way to frame it. And I think that this actually has been good in many ways. Meeting you, meeting the coterie, and pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. And I guess proving that I'm a bit more capable, probably, than I had originally. She starts to say, been led to believe, and so she says, that I believe. Then I believed.
I want to say you. He doesn't comment on that, but you do sort of sense that he sort of like takes note of that.
So this talk is very nice, but I guess I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious now, so I am interested in knowing what the job that you mentioned is. If we could take a quick break from...
Of course. And he then sort of reaches into his pocket and pulls out sort of a folded up what appears to be photograph, and he sort of like unfolds it and places it on the table, and you see a short-haired Hispanic woman that appears to be in her mid to late 30s, and she's dressed in sort of like business attire. And he says, "This is Amelia Reyes. She is the Baron of Ward 2. And
Amelia Reyes.
Amelia Reyes. And someone has been picking off kindred in her turf.
Okay. Is Amelia, do I know what clan Amelia Reyes belongs to? Have I heard her name before?
You probably would have heard her name. I don't know if you would know like what clan she's in, but Merrick would tell you, if you asked him, he would tell you that she is part of Clan Gangrel.
Okay. I'm taking notes. Okay.
All good. Someone has been picking off kindred on her turf, and while we don't know definitively, we have reason to believe that it is potential. There is potential SI involvement. We can't be 100% certain, but with all the ruckus that Marcus was causing with the Duskborn a few months ago and how reckless they had been being, it would be unsurprising if it drew attention from hunters.
Hunters, okay, that's what I thought. Does SI stand? Is it just SI, or does that is that an acronym for?
It stands for Second Inquisition.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm remembering that. Okay. So
we don't know for sure if it is them, and if it is them, we don't know if they are part of a larger organization or if this is a sort of lone hunter cell, if you will.
This
but
is quite a bit more dangerous.
I'm not asking, as I said, you do not need to do this. It was merely here for you to hear out, but if you are interested and you are more than I am more than all right with you roping in whoever you need or is willing to help with this, but for the time being, the assignment is merely look into these incidents and merely try and confirm suspicions one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's the assignment.
I'll need to think about it.
Of course.
But I would like to maybe bring it to my coterie because, I mean, this would be something that obviously has the potential to affect all of us. It's not handled quickly and properly.
Agreed. However, as you more than likely expect, the Camarilla is not going to rush to assist a bunch of the rabble, let alone rabble that doesn't respect its authority.
Are Gangrel anarchist aligned? Or
yeah, Gangrel are predominantly anarch aligned, yeah.
oh, that's you? Okay. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
So okay. Okay. So yeah, I'll think on this. I have to. I mean, it's dangerous. Yes, and she looks a little like shell shocked, like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
just
And
dangerous. But she also says that I think I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to try, though. I would like to, if I can find the right people to assist.
I appreciate that. I do realize that this is more extreme than any other jobs I've given to you thus far, but if you would at least consider it, then I appreciate it. Admittedly, I do not have many other people I can go to about this.
Was this something that was this something passed along to you, or is this something you're trying to help with on your own?
It was originally brought to me by Baron Walker, but he did not feel an immediate need to look into it, as it was part of a different barony, especially since he is seen as more Camarilla sympathetic these nights.
Mm-hmm.
He did not feel the need to look into it at this moment in time, so I suppose it is something I'm curious about personally.
Okay. I can
I will
respect that.
I will say that should you accept to look into this, regardless of what others say, I will not let you do this by yourself.
What's that mean?
You will
She
at
has-
least
She has to have 4
No.
team members.
no. You no, he sort of just clarifies that, says even if others reject helping you, I will assist.
Let me roll something real quick.
Okay.
For her response, I just need to. Can somebody call odds or evens?
Odds.
Okay. It's odd. Okay, so she just goes, "Oh, that's an interesting first date." Off the cuff. Off the cuff. And then she laughs. It's slightly awkward because she realizes what she said, and she's like, "It's just a little joke.
Yeah. And
Maybe we're not close enough, or this kind of joke is now what she's thinking.
Yeah, he like as soon as you say that, he like he doesn't like go super wide-eyed or something like that, but you do see his like eyebrows sort of like cock up a little in surprise. Like that is not what he was expecting you to say.
Riz.
But and as you sort of like try to sort of like laugh it off, he sort of like gives like a tiny smirk and says, I could think of worse first dates.
That's true. We could be fighting them
This is true.
instead of collecting information.
This is true.
Well, that's good to know. That gives me some confidence. All right. Yes, I'll bring this to the coterie.
I would appreciate that. And then he sort of just he sort of just is sitting there like awkwardly in silence.
Well, she was gonna say if you want to go back to talking about other stuff, she is fine to do that now. But if you want to change scene from that, because I imagine it would just be.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say honestly, I think we'll sort of just like pan out from there of them just like continuing to chat, and I think that's where we'll stop for tonight.
Okay. 3 different jobs. Roster's full.
Roster is full.
Booked and busy.
Yeah.
We gotta up our rates.
I don't think we rank that high yet.
Next time I request a penthouse. Oh wow!
Yes. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's good.
Been looking forward to playing this for a while. So.
Yeah, it was a nice break, but every week I was like, oh, BTM, where are you?
Yeah.
What do I do with my Friday nights now?
Honestly, though.
And somebody scheduled another 8-week game. Not this one. So.
I did do that, yes.
Oh, okay.
So, if
I'm
we get
excited for that
Jonesy,
also, but that's down the road.
blame.
That's down the road.
Yeah. I don't have it enough to keep in my head of that down the road, so it's okay.
Not until like February or something like that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we still got
Excitement.
several more weeks of this game.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Indeed.
This is
We're
fun.
just getting started. It's just the beginning of the season.
You know what I've been wondering? I know this is just kind of random, but I've been wondering, can Zamisi then technically give other kindred piercings that won't close? Couldn't they do that?
Yeah, I would say yes, yeah. Because they can flesh
My
craft
man. I've been thinking about that all day. I don't know why. Like,
I was gonna say, I guess like
piercing.
provided that they're I was gonna say, I guess provided that they're proficient enough in like protean and vicissitude, then yes, that's like perfectly something that they would be capable of doing.
Amazing.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess anybody got anything to shout out? Jen, I know you do.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jen. I'm the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast. I've been playing the new expansion, which is Vessel of Hatred, and I brought in a couple of characters that I'd played before, and they just got killed. So I brought out my Barbarian, and that's what I'm doing now. And you can find that at shatteredsoulstone.com, because I'll put in other things about that as well when I get time.
Very cool. Very cool. Tiara, you got anything you want to shout out? Anything going on in life that's exciting?
Oh, exciting. I will say recently I've made a new Twitter to house all of the art that I have done in the past 2 years and then upcoming, just so I kind of have a dedicated space that is multi-fandom, multi-genre, whatever. So that would be The Lonely Archivist. Or archivist. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that properly. My bad.
I think either work.
I think so.
And that would be at 4 Eyes Wise on Twitter.
Okay.
So, give it a look if you like character designs.
I'll say, well, now I need to go look it up immediately.
Only got 13 buddies following right now, but that's okay because I made it last week. So.
Oh well, that's 13's good if it's just from last week.
Little baby account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
Cool. Tom, Mr. Master of the Channel.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Thanks, everybody. Next Wednesday, we are going to finally, we've been saying that for weeks, going to finish another Bug Hunt, our Mothership game. We've either had illness or a goddamn hurricane come through, preventing us from finishing this game, but we will do our best to get that finished next week. Next Thursday, we are going to play a one-shot of Call of Cthulhu.
Yes.
Starring Aloysius and Jen. And our friend Minty is going to be playing that.
Cool.
And then next Friday night, back here with more River City Runs Red. So lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff this month. And lots of stuff in the works for January. We've still got plenty of games coming up the next couple of weeks. We're gonna slow down a little bit for the holidays. When January comes, we're just gonna slam you with content.
Breakneck speed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Everybody who watched on the stream, we appreciate your support, and we will see you all again next week. Good night.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.